talked about Devin Bush. Devin Bush doesn't seems like he doesn't want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. However, what I want to talk about today is the roster cuts. So we had the players went down from 90 players to I think 90 players to 85. So let me just jump into this article real quick and we'll talk about our Pittsburgh Steelers and the roster moves and some of the cuts. So via Steelers.com is the best one to do it here. So the Steelers made roster moves on Tuesday, including claiming I have no idea who this guy is, no idea. And I'm not going to dive too much into it because we can watch them during the preseason, we can watch them through training camp. Some of these guys won't make the roster near the end, but the Steelers acquired center Ryan McCollum of waivers from Detroit, and their waiving center Nate Gilliam following practice. So this is how fast the NFL works and how crazy it all is, right? It's like you hear one day and the next you see you later, right? So they waived Nate Gilliam, and early in the day too, they signed William Dunkel. I have no idea who these two blokes are, but it is quite interesting how they're focusing on the offensive line. So let's not focus on the player, but let's more focus on the position. Because the Steelers are trying to work things out. You know, we've got Mason Cole at center. We have J.C. Hassenauer at center. We have Kendrick Green and Kevin Dotson at left guard. We have, Dan Moore Jr. left tackle. So they've just went and signed two more, a center and a guard, which is quite interesting. Is that going to be into the mix? Will they have a chance to maybe start? Could they be in the, more or less backup or play a depth role? We don't overly know, right? So won't go into it too much, but it's interesting they're signing, offensive line players and they're letting go. They're letting go players as well. So it's all part of the business, I guess. Okay. Also, in addition to, so they had to, reduce the roster from 90 men to 85 by 4 p.m. And they have this is probably two topics. This is what sucks about the NFL, right? Now, I did have high hopes as well for Carl Joseph in this team, but we have now seen that DeMonte Kazi has been playing pretty well as a safety and maybe backup safety behind Minka or in rotation, or maybe he might be able to hopefully make this team. However, I think what I read reports as well that Carl Joseph and Anthony Miller have both received, or have not received is a bad word, have unfortunately gotten season-ending injuries. So that sucks. Carl Joseph is out for the season, I hear, and so is Anthony Miller. I read a report that Anthony Miller is out for the season too. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's what I read. Now, the team also waived 4 players, including Doug Costin. He came from the USFL. Offensive tackle, Jake Dixon. Punter, Cameron Niziak. I think that's how you pronounce it. And center, Chris Owens. So, things are moving, man, and they have to move, right? So 5 players were expected to be cut. I actually thought there were a few receivers would be cut, but I'm wrong. And they say here the next roster cut is next Tuesday after the last, the second preseason game. But they got rid of Doug Costin, who came from the USFL. He had a chance. I believe he played for the Stallions, right? Doug Costin. So he's cut, but what do you do? Also, they got rid of Jake Dixon and Chris Owens, which I didn't pay too much attention to. But there's one interesting point here that I find that if I did make a video, and look, it's hard to say now because I didn't say it before, but I did think that Cameron Niziak, the punter, was going to be cut this week. And here's why. Because it gives you Presley Harvin, now Big Press, a chance to go out there and punt. Presley Harvin didn't punt last week against the Seahawks, but now it gives him 2, you now have your punter being Harvin for the preseason and for the starting season. You don't need to carry 2 punters. I would also expect to see, Skiba play the kickoffs more maybe next week, and they might cut him after next week as well, because you don't need 2 kickers. You only need 1 kicker and you only need 1 punter. So there's no room for Cameron Niziak on this team, or Niziak or Nizliak, or whatever how you pronounce that. And there's only room for 1 punter, and that's being Presley Harvin. So some interesting updates, guys, and pretty much in a nutshell, as I bring this back, in a nutshell, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks for Anthony Miller. He's a receiver. I believe he's got a season-ending injury, and it kind of sucks as well for Carl Joseph too. You never want to see injuries, right? You don't want to see injuries in the NFL, but it happens. There's every day these guys go out and thump heads, and there's going to be injuries. There's going to be transactions. So this is the point now. We are going from 90 men to 85 to 80, and then to 53. So a lot more cuts to happen, a lot more guys that they're fighting for roster spots. And this is what it means so much to be to be a black and gold Steeler and what it means to be playing in the NFL. So that's your roster update, guys. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Here we go, Steelers.